You can see up their noses.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, everyone.
So, Carol has the perfect lighting.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a little, it's sort of like a Japanese, paper lantern over here.
Mhm.
So it's
Well, I
nice.
just said to Maria, I look like I just took a powder puff of talcum powder.
Oh, no, you don't.
And then when it gets dark, my screen is dark. Fine. Yep, thanks. How are you, Eric?
I'm okay. I had another doctor's appointment and he gave me kudos.
Oh, kudos are great.
Good.
Yeah. When are you going to get back into dance?
I don't know. We took lessons with who's the woman we took lessons from in Branford? Not
Well,
Sophia.
Karen is
Fromer?
No,
Karen
she
Fromer
was-
is the owns the studio. I'm really not sure, but that's not
She had-
recent.
She had an accent, either.
Anna.
Oh,
Yes, Anna. Yep.
Yeah, actually, that's who I've been taking lessons with myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we needed a review of the Silver Waltz, and we did it and did it and did it. And then we went to a dance and stood there and looked at one another. It was very sad.
Well, it's called practice, and
I know.
these last 2.5 years have been trying to say the least. And I begged off for the last couple dances. They have a dance every fourth Saturday, so I went this Saturday, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, and Tom has been experiencing some back problems. He had some back surgery a month or so
Right.
ago, and his arthritis. So I don't think his spirits are.
I thought they were having some kind of super lesson on Sunday too.
Yes, there's a 4 o'clock to 5:30. It used to be a little longer every Sunday. Correct.
Yeah.
Hello, Tom.
Hi there.
Hi, Tom.
So years ago, we used to go to East Lyme on Friday nights, and they had fabulous dances there. But I don't even know if they have them anymore.
I used to go
Well,
out to Fairfield too.
East Lyme, somehow there's an issue. The organization that sponsors that, I'm not sure what the particulars were, but I think they may have found another location. What made East Lyme good is that they had a large dance floor.
Yes, and it was right off the highway. It was wonderful. Plenty of parking.
Right,
Yep.
Right. Well, interesting enough, the place they chose, and I'm having a senior moment, but it was the place that they may go to. It's somewhere north of East Lyme. The irony of it is it was a middle school that they made into a community center. Now, how about that?
Oh,
Hopefully not in school yet.
There's hope. There's
Ugh.
hope for Madison. In fact, I guess the gym that there is a pretty large gymnasium that could be used for get-togethers and dances. Correct?
Mhm.
I've
Yes.
never been in the building.
Yeah, there's a big gym.
Do you do Latin or do you do just smooth?
Smooth.
No, we do smooth.
You
Yeah,
do
smooth.
American or standard?
American. My wife. I just do social, but my wife has been a active competitor now for the last couple years. So.
I competed for 7 or 8 years.
Oh, okay.
In
Wow.
American, I did American rhythm and international rhythm.
Well,
Wow.
we need to get you back.
Yeah.
What we didn't know about you.
Yeah, when I had cancer in 2013, and that's when I took a hiatus and just never got back into it.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
there's always tomorrow.
There's always tomorrow. Now I
There's
just can't
tomorrow.
afford it.
Do we have a quorum of 4? Is that it, Tom?
We do.
We do.
Yeah. Well, John's here. Good. Okay.
Oh, John.
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 We're all set.
Hi, John.
Oh, okay.
Hello, how's everyone?
Good.
Good. Nice and
Sorry
cold.
about talking about dance. Didn't mean to get off on the wrong subject,
On the wrong foot.
wrong foot. Very good.
You're so funny. Can we just, who's going to take minutes? Are we going to talk about that, John?
I will take notes today,
Okay.
put the minutes together. Let's see. Do we have any visitors today, Maria?
We do have one. I don't know where the first applicants are. They have not logged on.
Okay.
Hold on just one sec for me. Yeah, Liberty Street did not, I do not see them, and I did send them the invitation.
Okay.
We do have one demolition delay
Right.
and then the pre-application. So whenever you're ready, if you'd like, while you're starting the meeting, I can give Liberty Street a call.
Okay. Yeah. If you don't mind, to see if they're going to join us or not. Okay. Everyone doing okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
All right. Well, I guess shall we call this meeting to order? It is 7:05 p.m. on Monday, March 28th, 2022. This is Historic District Commission for Madison. Everyone, if they could say their name just for the benefit of any listeners and the recording. I am John Lind.
Susan Cartledge.
Carl Snow.
Tom Boyle.
Eric Berg.
Great. Thank you very much.
Before we get started,
yeah.
John, may I ask a personal question? Behind you, there's something with red. It looks like a popcorn machine. What is it?
It is a popcorn machine.
Oh, my heavens. I'll be right up.
So my daughter Kaya has piano lessons at the neighborhood music school in Guilford, and so she's going to be in just a couple minutes going upstairs for a piano lesson. And I'm sitting in the waiting room and
Okay.
at the First Congregational Church, and that's what's sitting behind me.
All right. Sorry. I just couldn't help it.
Not a problem. Not a problem. It looks like Denny is joining us. Excellent.
First applicants here.
All right. Great.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello.
Nope.
Hello.
You guys hear me?
Yeah. How are you?
I am at the I'm at the town campus. I probably didn't understand we weren't meeting in purpose. I'm in meeting room D. I'm the only person in here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have this month and next month we're continuing to meet via Zoom, and then in May we're gonna the town has asked us to switch back to meeting in person, but so we have this meeting and
Okay,
one more
well, that's
meeting
fine.
on Zoom. So it still works.
That's very funny. Yeah, no, I'm here. So I am here. I'm kind of frozen because I think I've got a bad link. That I don't have great reception. Let me see if I can make that a little bit better.
Okay. We can hear you fine. Are they up for a split second? We had video.
I'm going to get off of the Madison Wi-Fi and just go on to my own personal hotspot. I think that'll be
Okay.
What are we?
okay. It's
What are we?
better.
Which item are we
There we
talking
go.
about?
We will be talking about 61 Liberty Street in a moment. We'll let Denny get connected here.
Yep, I'm good now. Thank you. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry to make you all wait. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you very much. Well, welcome, Danny, to, I guess this is your first formal meeting, right? Now that you've been approved by the Board of Selectmen. So thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Maria, do we have are the visitors for Liberty Street on or not yet?
We're on,
Yeah.
if you can hear us.
We're here. Hi, Denny.
All right, great. All right. If you could introduce yourselves and tell us about your project, that would be terrific.
Hi, Barbara.
And Maria,
Sorry,
if you
I was
could
on
show
mute.
us some of the application, that would be nice.
Hi, we're Barbara and Jamie Hellman. We live, as you know, at 61 Liberty. As a little bit of background, last fall, by the way, we love the area. We love the fact that we're in the historic district. We think it's actually a great plan to maintain the integrity of the neighborhood and the feeling that it has now, which we think is just fantastic. So to move forward, in the fall, we had a number of unexpected and unwanted visitors in our backyard. There were some teenagers that were going through the neighborhood and tearing down signs and making some trouble. Our video camera in the back of our house actually caught some of the action. The police came over. We gave them a copy of the video. They knew who some of the kids were that were over here, but it kind of dramatized for us that we felt our backyard and access to the back of our house, we felt very exposed, and we still do. The property is unusual on Liberty Street in that by simply rolling along the street, you can see all the way to through our backyard to the house behind us. So to kind of maintain our security, we'd like to put up a fence, which is similar to many other fences in the neighborhood, from about 50 feet, as you can see from the survey plan here. It runs about 49 feet from the edge of the pavement to where it would be stationed. And the two green lines being fencing, the one on the west side, the longer one, would have a small gate, a 4-foot wide gate. And the other one on the driveway would have, I believe, I can't read what I even wrote there, 2 6-foot gates, I believe, right? But I can't see it.
It says 12 feet on the screen
Yeah.
I'm looking at.
Right.
So
There's another image, I think, after it. Yeah, so that's the existing house. And as you can see on the left and the right, you can see right through.
Yeah,
We
and just so you know, the kids and the police ran straight through our backyard. And
Right.
So
It's kind of like an open, it's almost like a magnet for people to run back there. So the idea is we put that gate up, we put some landscaping in front of it. It would maintain the front of the house to look as the same. It just would give us some privacy.
does it return on the sides, the east and west sides, or is it just across the south face?
Just the south face.
Visually,
Is there currently other fences or some separating your property from your adjacent neighbors, or?
Yeah, so I added some pictures there. So 55 has we can see here, to our right is a white picket fence with Barbara McCullough's property. She has a white picket fence. There's 63 and 65 are a long driveway in, right? Her fence goes along the length of her property.
Right.
The next picture, I believe, shows another property. To the left is Titus's property. It's like an 8-foot hedge that's only about 10 feet from the street, and that extends for the length of almost the entire length of his property, touching Liberty. So there's already a 10-foot hedge there, which would be closer into the street than ours would be. Our
Mhm.
fence would be.
Right.
What's the next picture?
Yeah, if you would, yeah, so
Yeah.
that's his, of course, it's winter now, so it's, without greenery on it, but
Right.
it's at least 8 feet and it's much closer to the road than our fence would be.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
then the next picture, I think there's a picture from across the street. Well, that's our neighbor past 55, 53. And then we have a picture from across the street. 4 Waterbury has a hedge, which I believe is 6 feet high. 6 Liberty does not.
Mhm. Okay. And can you tell us a little bit more about the fence itself?
It's a standard issue white vinyl fence. There are several examples of it already existing in the neighborhood. It's nothing, from what we can tell, it fits the height and style of many other fences that are here. Trying to think of what else I can tell you about it. It's what they call Oklahoma style. This interstate, which is out of New York, vinyl. I guess the name of it's Oklahoma, but I know it goes under a lot of other names depending upon which company you get it from. Trying to think of, there'd be some black metal stainless steel hinges for the door and latches. It's all really tastefully done, and we think it'll actually look great once it's in and we have some hedges in front of it.
And how tall did you say it was going to be?
6 feet.
6 feet.
Is that the anticipated fence that we're seeing now?
Yes,
What proposed? Okay.
at the actual height too. So that 6 foot just comes up to the bottom of the window on the porch.
And that fence that we're looking at, that's actually behind the house, behind the improvement, behind the house, correct?
Yeah, it's so, if you look at we have a porch that extends out, I believe, you can see it here on the survey in the front.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's better, thank you.
yeah, so it goes behind the porch.
So it lines up, or it's just slightly north of the face of the house, and then the porch projects forward of the house by whatever that dimension is, 8 feet or something.
Right.
I see now, yeah.
Have you considered a wooden fence instead of vinyl?
I'll be honest with you, we just don't want the maintenance. I don't want to have in a couple of years, a fence that looks really bad up there that needs to be repainted and redone constantly.
What's the composite of the other fences that are in the neighborhood? Are they vinyl as well?
Most are vinyl. I can't say all of them are, but I would say from my visual inspection, between 80 and 90% of them are vinyl. Some are wood.
So John, I guess these vinyl fences had been installed prior to the area becoming historic district?
Yeah, the ones that are within a historic district itself were pre-existing this becoming a historic district. There may be some on properties that are not in the historic district that have been installed subsequently, but as far as the existing fences in historic properties, they all predate the historic district's existence, to the best of my knowledge. I'm not aware of any that have been added. We certainly have not reviewed any
Right.
previously. And as far as I know, none have been built in that time. So do you know if the fence at 69 that we were just looking at there, is that a vinyl fence or is that a wood fence? Do you know?
I believe that.
Yeah, see a little closely.
Looks vinyl.
That is, I do know, because I live next to that, that is a wood fence that
Oh,
dates
wood.
from the 1920s originally.
Oh,
But the Hellmans are right that there are many fences in the neighborhood within either within the historic district or in what had been the proposed historic district that did not go in on Liberty Street. I don't know the percentage, but there are a number of people that do have vinyl fences.
Mhm.
But that particular one next to them that you're seeing in this picture is actually a wood fence.
Sorry.
And to Jamie's observation, that fence takes a considerable amount of upkeep by the owner of that property.
Right, it's a fairly lengthy fence.
It
And,
is.
looks like it's probably about 3.5 feet tall, judging by just sort of the scale of
Yeah.
things.
This would not be the first 6-foot high vinyl fence on Liberty. There's a number of them at the head of Liberty by the Post Road, on the I guess on the north side of the street. There's 2 or 3 houses that already have 6-foot high vinyl fencing. So this is not
Yeah.
an outlier.
Yeah, I know there's one of the larger properties as you're moving east towards Clinton on the same side of the street, has vinyl fence,
Right.
6 foot tall or so, at its property. I recall that from previous visits.
And
Um,
visually, you really can't, honestly, from a distance, most of the fences in the neighborhood, I can't tell if they're vinyl or wood. You have to kind of go up to them and tap them or look closely. The degree of engineering that's gone into the vinyl ones now makes them look identical to what a wood fence would look like.
Can we go back to the photograph that shows the rendering of the final result with the, yeah, there we go. So what kind of landscaping, not that this is a factor, but just for my own personal curiosity, what kind of landscaping are you envisioning planting in front?
I don't have the exact names yet, and we're working with Lucy, and we're working with another landscaper. I suspect it might be an arborvitae in that family. And then in front of it, there probably would be some smaller plantings and perhaps 1/3 layer even closer with something that might have some color, some flowering plants.
Mhm.
And also we do plan on putting a tree out in the front too.
Mhm.
So it'll take a little time to grow, but you can see there's a little bit
Sure.
of, and I apologize, this is kind of a off the shelf program that I'm using to depict what it would look like. But it did allow me to put native or plants that you would find in the Northeast, in the New England area and Connecticut on this. So they're not foreign to the area. The exact
Right.
one, I don't know, but the idea would be to put them in front of the fence.
Mhm.
I like actually that the fence is set back and that it is landscaped, because with vinyl fences, I think you often see like the reflection of headlights as you drive by. I don't know that that will be a problem here.
I don't think so either, because it's kind of the road's east-west, and you're at least a half a block from Waterbury, so there's no streets that would necessarily have headlights on it. But I hear your point.
I happen to agree with Carol. I think with proper landscaping, kind of diffuses what might be. And I don't know that we can necessarily insist upon a certain breakdown of what the fence should be, wood or otherwise, John, can we?
I think we can.
We can, as far as, what the materials go and so forth. We can't really say anything about the
Of the interiors.
planting.
It doesn't say about
I'm
planting.
sorry, what was that? Yeah, planting's not something we would regulate, but
Right.
the fence and what what it looks like and what it's made of is something that does come under our purview.
Well, there are only two options, either vinyl or wood, unless you know of something else.
Well, those are your primary choices. I mean, you could do a
Right.
metal fence if you wanted to, or, some sort of custom kind of thing out of, some other material or whatever, brick or whatever.
Or you could have a wooden fence and not paint it and have it just naturalize.
The weathered look.
Mhm.
I find this to be an interesting one we have faced before. And I think that my feel about it is always the same. If you're that far away, like from the street, can you tell if it's vinyl or it's wood? My guess is that you probably can't. I would prefer a wood fence just because I like wood and I like that natural kind of look. And I totally understand the maintenance and issues and so forth. I paint windows in my house more than I want to, so I get it. So my guess is, just looking at it on the photo that we're staring at right now, it looks to me like it's a kind of far enough away from the street so that it'd be difficult to tell in terms of its kind of the glossiness of vinyl. And I'd be like kind of willing to just I mean, I'd rather have wood, but I get all the differences, and I get the fact that vinyl is a lot easier to care for. So I probably wouldn't have a strong objection to vinyl.
Well, I appreciate that it's behind the porch. So there's a sense of it being set back at least a little bit. And it's not, right up front. Can we look at the photograph of the existing house? Well, I think the additional landscape will definitely help the overall appearance of the house. It seems a little almost like it's sitting in a field in this image, because it's just grass and the driveway and the sidewalk. I think that additional landscape will help make it fit in a little bit better.
I think as usual, I have to make my disclaimer for the applicants. I actually appraised your house when you bought it a couple years ago. So I'm looking at the appraisal I did and seeing that this is not unusual. This happens all the time. But anyway, I'm looking at the photos that I took when I did that, and the house is actually set back. The photo that we're looking at is pretty realistic in terms of how far the house is set back from the street. So the fence is actually a ways off, and that's what makes me not terribly concerned about the material of the fence. So I don't know if that's worth it, kind of worth anything, but that's what makes me kind of more amenable to a vinyl rather than a wood fence.
Yeah, and like I said, it's almost, to my measurement, it was 49 feet from the edge of the curb of the street.
Oh, okay.
So you're nearly 50 feet back from the street before the fence is there. And our neighbors' hedges are much closer to the street than even we are. So, and it gives us, we still maintain a nice front yard to the house. We still have a nice front to it, nice greenery. We can put lots of plantings there. It just gives us the separation that we need, because we having these kids run through the yard was not a happy experience.
No, I got it. Yeah.
And having the police go through our yard was not a happy experience either. Madison's Best was, even they were surprised by people running around here.
So given that the vinyl fences that are there now pre-exist the neighborhood becoming historic, if we were to approve this, John, would that set some kind of a precedent? So if someone else wanted to put a vinyl fence at the street where it would be visible, that we'd have a problem?
Well, if we approved the vinyl fence in this location, yeah, that it wouldn't mean we would necessarily have to approve a vinyl fence for a different property.
Okay.
But it would give that an applicant a reason, a reason to say maybe, Liberty Street. But every property is a unique property, and we have to look at it specific to that property, but also specific to the district as a whole and the neighborhood as a whole. In thinking about this and the other houses in the say the immediate neighborhood, the several houses on either side and across the street, I feel like in some ways this is a little bit of a unique condition in that, as the photographs show and as Jamie has described, there is the property is fairly narrow east to west and fairly deep. And on the east and west property lines are some pretty strong hedge lines of existing planting. And so the photograph really shows the house kind of isolated from its neighbors by that fairly tall planting on the left and right as you're facing the front of the house. And the house does have a certain amount of setback from the street. So I think it's different than, for example, the houses across the street, which are much more open and much more exposed for what you see as you're coming down the street. In this case, you're not going to see the fence until pretty much you're in front of the house because of the adjacent landscape and other elements that are there. Whereas the houses across the street, you would be more apparent, even if that fence was the same distance from the street than it is here. So I guess I'm a little less I'm a little less bothered by it here, whereas I probably would be bothered by it at 60 Liberty Street, for example, in this photograph, or even 4 Waterbury, if they were proposing a fence this equal distance from the street on their property, just because their properties are quite a bit different. So I guess I'm less concerned by it. I think and appreciate the security aspect that sort of was driving this. I assume Barbara and Jamie, had you been thinking about a fence previously to your little encounter with the neighborhood kids, or?
I think not to use a pun here, but I think we were on the fence about it to begin with. I think this kind of this kind of put us over the top. I don't think we felt. I mean, I do think we do when we're in the because Liberty is a wonderful street, but in the summer it gets a lot of traffic, a lot of through traffic, and it was just it would be nice to just have a little bit of separation in the backyard from the street, and this would also help affect that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Tom Boyle that because it's set back and hopefully there'll be some proper shrubbery, that I think it's workable. And I'm not sure it really sets a precedent because, as you said earlier, John, each house is going to be its own entity in terms of making a judgment as to what's going in or not.
Yeah, the last thing I would say about that, and I don't want to beat this horse to death here, but is, for instance, if this fence were at the front of the property near the road, I'd be much less interested in approving a vinyl fence there.
Right.
But I'm not in the least bit I'm not as concerned having it be set back from
Mhm.
there. And honestly, that is part of the vinyl fence that we denied on the post road once. Not that this is the post road, and I get it, but that one was right on the street. And
Right.
it does make a difference, I think. So
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you, Eric, I think.
Yeah, well, I would agree as long as it isn't going to set a precedent, then I agree.
Denny, do you have any comments you want to add in here? Not that you have to, but
Well, since I know the Hellmans, and as they mentioned, Lucy's doing work for them, so I feel I'm conflicted in terms of just having a personal interest and a friendship with them. So I have no additional comments. I think Jamie and Barbara have proposed what they want, and I can confirm, as I said earlier, that there are a number of fences on Liberty Street that are vinyl. I ran it through my head. I don't know if I would say 90%, but I'd say sort of 50-50. And certainly I can also confirm that we've been dealing with a lot of youth issues in the neighborhood. And I've been actively involved with that as the chair of the beach committee for the local beach association. And it is an issue in the summertime. And I know the Hellmans are quite concerned about that, but that's as much as I could say.
okay, that's fine.
You want a motion,
Thank you.
John?
Yeah, Denny, I didn't want to put you on the spot, but I wanted to give you an opportunity in case you did want to say something. No, that's perfectly fine. Anyone else have any additional comments they want to make? If not, Eric, you want to make a motion?
I move we accept the project as indicated, and although we can't insist upon hedging or anything else, I guess we would like to see that there would be some kind of a hedging there to maybe offset the actual vinyl fence, but that can't be
I can guarantee you there'll be hedging. We want it. We love it. We love the
Yeah.
green. We definitely are doing that. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be great. We would encourage that, but that doesn't fall under our purview of things to regulate. So that's why Eric's making that point. But so we can't ask you or force you. We can just encourage you to do so.
Okay.
But that's the extent of what we can do as far as the landscape side of it goes, the live landscape. All right, do we have a second?
Second,
Okay, that was you, Carol, or was that
Yes.
Susan?
it was
Okay.
Carol.
Okay, was quite sure. Any additional comments before we vote? Okay, all those in favor of approving the application as put forth as a vinyl fence, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right, that's unanimous.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it. Thank you for your time too.
Yeah, we
Thank
really,
you.
and we love our neighborhood.
Oh, good.
And
Good.
our
Well, thank you.
neighbors.
good luck. Good luck.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for,
Great night.
thank you for your time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. All right, Maria, I assume we don't have any other visitors, or do we?
Well, the next item is the demolition delay, but we do have somebody for 26 Meeting House. If you had any questions on the pre-discussion for the ductless split systems.
Yeah, why don't I propose we move we skip to item B and we come back to it and move to item C, the Meeting House lane, since we have guests, and let's talk to them and they can, move on with their day without having to wait for us to discuss
Sure.
the demolition. So we can bring those on.
Hello.
Hello.
Gary,
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
Gary.
Familiar faces here.
Hello, Gary.
Hope you're all doing well.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. You want to walk us through what's your proposal for 26 Meeting House Lane?
Yeah, Can Maria put up the plan? And you're all familiar with what a typical split system compressor outdoor unit looks like. But we can go back to that. There it is. There's the picture. 30, it's basically 3x3 roughly. And they'll sit relatively close to the building. So if we can go to the plan now, Maria. Yeah, on the plan, you'll see there, we're doing the lower level right now. The upper level, if we go ahead with that, will require some ground units, but they'll be on the back. That's not part of the application currently. There'll be 5 of these units, 3 towards the back of the building, 2 in the corners of the front. The chapel projects towards Meeting House Lane. And the Meeting House Lane, Maria, I sent some pictures late. I'm not sure, these are the ones Dave sent, but I sent some pictures late. I don't know if you added them, that actually show standing out on Meeting House Lane, looking back up the hill towards the meeting house. But if you don't have them, that's fine. I think everybody is familiar with the fact that when you're on Meeting House Lane, it's got to be over 100 feet from there to the very front portion of the meeting house. And in addition to that, the ground rises up to the meeting house and then rolls back down to expose the windows of the lower level. The 3 on the backside are will be totally invisible from the street. And also Bradley Road. The only access to the church from Bradley Road is up the driveway. Here you see one of the corners on the front. And then I think the next picture shows the other corner in the front. So those are the 2, if any of them are visible at all, that you might see. But we're certainly willing to plant a couple shrubs if they turn out to be. We don't want to see them either. So this is the back side of the building, which of course you can't see from any of the public ways at all. But again, once we see these, we may want to do some landscaping ourselves just to shield them. But I think putting any physical barrier in front of them isn't really going to help very much, and will be more of an eyesore than just plants would be. The piping itself, I'm working I'll be there with Dave Fitzgerald, who is the manager for Viglione Air Conditioning, and he's actually done work on my own house. Go back to that last picture, Maria, there. This is the type of coverall that they put on that can be painted the color of whatever material. We're hoping to keep the lines down very low to the ground so that we have very limited, if any, vertical rise to get up to the units themselves. But I'll be working with him to try to minimize that, because we don't want to see it either. I think that's about all I can say about it. This is kind of a pre-application. We have to, of course, go through the formal hearing procedure in case there are any people who would like to know more about it or object to it. So if I can answer any further questions, I sure will.
Gary, I'm trying to figure out from Meeting House, it looks to me like this thing will almost disappear.
Yeah, I really don't think you'll see it, because 2 things working for us. The distance is great. I sent the pictures so late. I don't think Maria got them into her presentation package.
This isn't them?
Pardon me?
This isn't the ones that you sent me?
Dave sent you those, Maria, but later on about, it must have been 4 o'clock, I sent 2 more views from way out on Meeting House Lane. But and even if you don't have them available now, they can be added to the package for the formal presentation.
Yeah, those are the ones that I have from you from 4:15.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get them to you, but I think if any of you and some of you live in the neighborhood there, I drove by late today, and you're right, Tom, that you won't be able to see them from the road. And the two things, the distance and the fact that the grade rises up and then it kind of rolls back down, and they're going to be down in that hollow in both corners.
Right. Yeah, I can't believe that we're gonna have an issue with this. You know, and when you make the formal presentation, it just seems to me, just remembering, not looking at it recently, but remembering how far that you are from Meeting House, you know, I don't think it's gonna be an issue at all, but that's just an opinion, you know, thinking about how it would look, you know, for me.
Right. I mean, as I think more of a concern will be when you're somebody going to the church or going into the Meeting House, or actually the church house is what we call this building, as opposed to the historic building. And it'll be whether or not people are bothered by the views of them as they go in and out of the building and around the gardens. And if we are, we'll certainly screen them. There's a few plants, to hide it. It won't cost us very much. Any other questions I can answer?
No.
Great.
Yeah, I think, I think you're right. I think the distance is gonna really be beneficial. And like you said, maybe a little bit of landscaping from the block the views. But initially when I was looking at the floor plan, I was like, oh, maybe a small fence or something, or screen wall or something like that. But I think that's probably not the right solution. And thinking about it a little bit more and thinking about, these really aren't that big. They're only 13
No.
inches front to back, so they're not big elements. So it wouldn't take a lot of landscaping to screen that pretty well from the public areas. So
No,
yeah,
not at all.
Yeah, I think
I agree. I agree that landscape screening will be sufficient.
yeah. I don't see any big problems with it. Anyone else have any additional thoughts on it, or?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll be back when we go through the formal process. So.
Okay, great.
I just wanted to let you know that the reason why we did this is because the application came pretty close to meeting date. It wouldn't have been able to be advertised in time.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
we just did the pre-application in case you had anything that we could add before.
Right.
So now we'll go ahead and we can put it in a timely manner and just come back.
Great. Thanks, Maria.
I have a question. How is Peter?
Peter Clement?
Yeah.
I think he's doing much, much better. I have not seen him, but Nancy has been with Vicky a number of times, and he's doing a whole lot better than he was previously. So I think you'll see him out and around and at meetings again soon.
Oh, great.
Oh, that's great.
Thanks, Gary.
Oh, sure. All right, I'll sign off.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks,
Glad
Gary.
to do it.
Thank you,
Okay,
Gary.
talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
All right. So let's go back to item D, B as in boy, the demolition delay. If you could bring those in, that package up, Maria, that'd be great. So I know this house. I drive by it almost every day. It's on Route 79, where Chestnut Hill comes into 79, and where Duck Hill ends at that flashing light as you're heading north out of town. What you don't see in the photographs here is they built a brand new, much larger house directly behind this one. And I assume that's the other address, the owner's address, 675. And that house seems to be occupied now. And that house is probably twice the size of this house, maybe even more. And so I don't think there's anything particularly important about this house. It just kind of sits there. Fairly straightforward, ordinary house. No, it's not old enough that it has any super historic value. There's no particular details, at least on the exterior, of note that I'm aware of. Can you show the front view, Maria? This is the rear.
This is front.
Okay.
I have side.
Oh, okay, maybe it's me. I'm only seeing the rear
Oh, we're
view.
seeing a hatchway that usually aren't in the front, but you
That's
never
the-
know.
There's the rear.
Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Side.
But anyway, I looked at it earlier. The basement
Well,
hatch is on the rear side. So if you're seeing a basement hatch, you're looking at the rear. But anyway, it's an uneventful house.
Yeah. Hey,
And
hey,
it's-
John,
it's-
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. So the house, I just pulled up 675 Durham Road on Vision, and that is a good sized house back there. And is that
Yeah.
directly behind this one? Is that the deal?
Pretty much,
Oh,
pretty
okay.
much, yeah.
So we're assuming that we're just getting rid of this one because we don't need it anymore.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure what happened originally, but the bigger house was built in the last 2 years.
Yeah, 2020. it says here.
And I don't know if it was a large, okay, so it may have been one larger property that someone bought, subdivided it so they could build a new house,
They've
and now
always
they want to
owned it,
get
they
rid of
subdivided.
the small. Okay,
Yeah, they own
All
the
right.
whole lot and they subdivided it.
okay,
It's not within, any historic district, and,
Oh, no.
nope, it's not.
we'd be spinning our wheels to do more anyway, so.
No, it doesn't look to me like a hugely significant home. I was just curious as to exactly what was going on there. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's even like 1940s or 1950s.
45, it says on the card.
45. Yeah, thanks.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make a
So
big deal
it's-
about this one.
it's more than 60, but it's yeah, interesting houses that we've unfortunately had to let slide because we didn't have enough control to stop them. So unless anyone have any additional comments, or
Nope.
if not, I'll make a motion that we take no action on the demolition delay for Durham Road.
I will second that.
Okay. All those in favor of taking no action, say aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, that's unanimous. No action. All right. Let's see, anything else on the agenda? Does anyone have anything else they'd like to discuss before we close the meeting tonight?
Nope.
Only just the reminder, and I haven't done anything about it, so I can't have an issue here. But we ought to, we do need to work on the updating of the our whole guidelines and so forth. Getting Liberty Street in and getting the couple other things we discussed, and that really should happen at some point. And I'm just saying it just to remind everybody. I'm not pointing fingers or anything else.
Yeah, no, between last meeting and this meeting, and I've not, so that we can get that moving forward and get it.
Yeah.
I'll try and stop dragging my feet.
Please.
All right.
It is. It's
All right.
the day
We
of
have a
work,
motion
I
to
get it.
adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All right.
Okay.
All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 Aye. Any objections? Set 7:53 PM on Monday, August 28th, 2022, Madison Historic District Commission. All right. Thank you very much. So Tom, you've got a meeting, the Elm Street meeting.
Absolutely. It should be short and sweet. So let's, I'm ready to start it right now if you like.
Give me a quick second here. Because what I want to do is I'm gonna shut my computer down here, but I'll get on my phone.
Okay.
Because my daughter is done with her lesson.
You do have a little audio lag on your computer, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. It's just wanted you to know.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
I guess I'm in. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sure. All
Okay.
right, we all set?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, so we'll call to order the Old Elm Street Historic District Study Committee on March the 28th at 7:56. And just for the benefit of the recording, let's identify ourselves. I'm Tom Boyle.
Susan Cartledge.
Carol Snow.
Denny
Eric
Van
Berg.
Loo.
Oh, sorry. Eric Berg.
John Lind.
We got everybody. Denny, you're there, right?
I'm here.
Okay,
Sorry.
good. No, you and Eric
I'm just
did
off
that.
camera because I'm in the town campus and the connection's really awful here. But if I dare walk out of here, I'll lose everything.
I get it. No trouble. This should be relatively quick.
Yeah, no, I am here. I just got my video. Well, I'm putting it on and off, but when it's on, I just lose everything.
Oh, too bad. All right. So we'll just go for the first item, which is our continuing attempt to get funding for our final report. And we actually have good news, right, Carol?
Yes, I think it's good news. Aaron said we did not have to go back to the Board of Selectmen to ask for the okay to get forwarded the funds if we are awarded the grant. So Aaron is submitting it, I think, submitting the application. Did I miss anything, Tom?
No, that's exactly right. And but
Yeah.
it is very good news.
So it's
means
moving
also
along.
I didn't have to go to the Board of Selectmen meeting.
That's right. You don't have to do the Board of
this
Selectmen
time.
tonight.
So I was happy because I'm sure I'm not technologically apt enough to do that. But anyway, so no, we're good. So yeah, that's what she told us, that she was submitting that. So that's moving forward. That'll still take some time, but it's moving forward, and that's what we really were looking for. For those who don't remember, don't know, it was a minor kind of financial glitch whereby the town had to front the money, I guess, to for the final report. They couldn't wait. It couldn't just be billed. So they thought they might have to go back to the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance and all that jazz to make this happen, but evidently they looked at it and said it's such a small amount they didn't have to worry about it. So we're in good shape. So with that good news, then we'll just talk about, we've been working on getting phone numbers for all the members in the proposed district. And I've gotten a bunch of them from everybody, so that's good. We're still waiting for some. So just let me know by private email as you go. If you're having trouble with that, if you're having trouble getting those telephone numbers, and if you are, I will help you, or I can get them myself. But I just like to get some kind of a guess of a phone number for everybody, so that when we start the next process, we can call people. All of us can call the people that we are assigned to in a matter of days, and just update them or get a reaction and so forth. Denny, for your purposes, you haven't been assigned anybody because you were not on the committee then. So what we have done is assigned a number of property owners to each member of the committee and they're the point of contact, and they're the people that will call to both cajole, convince, and apprise them of anything going on in terms of the new district. So that's what that's about. Denny, you had good news though. You sent me a nice email about the house across from Schoolhouse Deli.
I did. And I think everybody should know that there's a couple that we know, Bob Donahue and Mike DiAgostino, who live up in Durham right now. And Bob has been a longtime bank manager at the People's Bank at Stop and Shop here in Madison. And he and his partner, his husband, actually, Mike, have been looking at 273 Boston Post Road, and they're just in love with it. And Bob also announced last week that at the grand opening of the Chase Bank, because Bob's just become the president of the local Chase Bank branch, that they were going to be supporting the Madison Historical Society as a named charity. So we have someone who's trying to move into the Old Elm District, who's also very keen on historic preservation, who's also a banker that's committed locally, even though Chase is an international bank. I know personally, Lucy has banked with him with her lawn garden business for about 15 years. They haven't yet closed the deal, but they are seriously interested. And, I think I would be happy to work with you, Tom, to give him some more information, because he's truly interested. And he loves the house. I have not gone through it, but it sounds like a lovely house.
Well, it's certainly an iconic house, and certainly one that belongs in the district. So that's really good news. Chip Adams, who owns the house now, also is and was and is a strong supporter. So it's really nice to hear that somebody moving in is kind of on our wavelength. So that's great news. And yeah, I mean, you can just be the point person for him if that's okay with you.
Yep. No, I would be happy to do that. I think my connection's getting better, so I'd be happy to do that. And to me, it's at the edge of the district, but if you had an anchor like that, that would be great, because it really, I drove by there just to take a look at it. Their only concern is that it's very close to the road. And not Bob, but his partner, his husband, Mike, is concerned about the traffic. But Bob himself just loves it.
Oh, tell him to call me, because we're closer than he is.
Really?
You don't even know it's there anymore.
Would you take a call from him?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Okay. I'll introduce you by email.
Yeah.
To Bob. He's a delightful man. He like hugs you if he knows you when he meets you.
Yeah.
He really, and he's, as I say, he's been a local banker in this town for about 15 years. and just really has embraced Madison. So he's good news to Madison, I think. And he'd be
Oh,
great
great.
news in the old Elm District.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's very good news, I think, and absolutely would love to talk to him. So no trouble at all. So
I remember when we moved here, we moved on a Friday in May, and there was no air conditioning, so we had the windows open. And Saturday morning, we were having breakfast, and Tom said, "We've made a dreadful mistake." And I said, "What?" And he said, the traffic. Well, of course, on Friday night, they were, all the drunks were coming up West Wharf and peeling out until 2:00 in the morning. So, I lived on Durham Road, so I was used to that 12 o'clock stuff. So I said, "Oh, I understand." I said, "Let's talk about that. I'll write it down on the calendar. We'll talk about that a month from today." And of course, in a month, you don't even hear it. So
You don't even hear it. And the Hellmans, because this is also a public meeting, but the Hellmans, we have become friends with them. And, I moved here from Minneapolis and Washington, D.C., and also we have this place in London. I mean, Liberty Street's a little bit busy in the summertime, but it's about 1/10 the traffic level I was used to in the District of Columbia. So it's all relative.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that during an official meeting of the Historic District Commission.
No, and I will tell you that the bad news when we moved in, truly 30-something years ago now, I said, "Oh, maybe we haven't decided what room is going to be what, but I'll park myself in the living room, and that'll be my office for a little bit." And I opened up the windows, and I was very happy. And I'll never say this to anybody else, the fumes from the road, from cars going by, were terrible. And we haven't opened those windows since. Anyway, this is all very good news. So what this brings us to now, since the application is in now for the funding, do you think it's time to send our letter out and get moving on this and try to get some interest going? I tend to think it is.
I mean, it's frightfully cold tonight, but I hope spring is coming.
Yeah, no, I think this is a perfect time. Winter is behind us, and if we wait much longer, people will be in the throes of vacation and thinking outside. I think this is perfect time.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, good. So the letter's ready to go. I just I should have actually stuffed the envelopes and so forth, but I haven't yet. But I'll do that this week, and then I'll let everybody know when that letter goes out. And then I would like to maybe time, and we can do this by email, I'd like to maybe time some phone calls. Well, you better give it a week these days, the way the mail is. But, at some point in time after the letter's mailed, a call to each of those people. Did you get the letter? What do you think? So forth, so on. And we can talk about talking points and all that stuff. But we've done this before, and I can resend, all the kinds of things that we've done before, and just to get some momentum going here again. Because there's a lot of new people in the district,
Right.
that honestly have never gotten anything from it. But I really do want to get moving on that. We should probably do a little push for phone numbers maybe before the letter goes out. So I'll send an email to everybody regarding that to see if we can get some more phone numbers, just to have them in, so that we know that we can contact these people after they get a letter. But that's really the only thing that holds us up now. And I can do that. I also want to put a little notice in the same envelope about just welcoming new people that have moved in and their first thing. I haven't written that yet, but I will. That's no big deal. So good. So I will start work on the next week, 10 days, and we'll move forward.
Good.
The one thing I would say, I know you're trying to get all these phone numbers, is that when you send out the letter and you have your email and phone number on there, and I know you've got a master list, but people will give you their emails. And one thing I found is that what we ended up doing is we always sent the letters, but then we'd always send the letter by email, because they're doing multi-channel stuff. And then once they give you their email, then it becomes a lot easier to communicate with them. So, we obviously, you want to send letters and you want to go talk to people if you can, but also if you have their email, it just helps.
Oh, absolutely. And we have very few, to be honest, for the very reason you just mentioned. People are hesitant to do that, but we'll try. We'll just keep.
No, you never get all of them.
Do when we call them.
on the 42 houses in Liberty Street, and I know Liberty Street was quite contentious, but on the 42 houses in the end, I'd say we had 80% of the emails.
Oh, that's
because
great.
people would send you back an email even if they didn't want the district, and they would still give you their email. And then we had it because they gave it to us. So we had
Right.
basically permission.
Right. No, I think that's a really good idea. And maybe that's one of the things we can do when we start to make these phone calls is just say, oh, would you mind giving your email so we can keep you apprised of what's going on?
And that's what we said. We'll keep you in the loop. This will be completely transparent. If you give us your email, because sometimes we would stuff stuff in people's mailboxes and then they would say they didn't get it. So,
Didn't get it, right?
yeah.
I get it. No, good idea. Thanks, Denny. Yeah, I'm gonna write it down. Just put that in there. And that's something that should happen with a phone call because they're not gonna give it to you from sending a letter. I can guarantee it.
No.
That's okay. So that'll be it. That's great. So give me a week or so to get that together. I will do that, and I will be in contact with everybody via email to let you know what the timing is, and we can just go from there. Okay.
Very good. Very good.
Maria, by the way, I'll take the minutes for this, and I will catch up. I promise on the past meeting minutes. Okay. So I'll do this one, and then I'll give you a bunch now that I have that format, and we'll be caught up, and then after this meeting, we'll start to get them to you right away after the meeting. How's that?
Well, I tell you, the conference room looks very clean and tidy. I'm in conference room D, so it looks
Yeah.
really nice in here.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else have anything?
Nope.
All right, we're good. That was a very short meeting, but I expected that. So, but also a very good meeting because we got some good news. And I will get working on that letter, and I'll let everybody know by email, what's happening with it. And other than that, I will just take a motion to adjourn.
I moved to adjourn.
And a
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Hey, have a nice night,
Have a
everyone.
nice night,
Thank
everybody. We're
you.
adjourned as of 8:10 on the 28th. See you next time.